Well, Friday the 13th, the game is getting shut down, unfortunately. I'm not sure if the offline modes are still going to be available, but I do know that the online is definitely 100% getting shut down. I mean, the game was already technically shut down back last year when nobody could buy it anymore unless if you went on like eBay or something. And for people who already owned the game, which I was one of them, I got it back in 2020, like a year before my YouTube channel started. Well, the people who already owned it can play up to December 31st, 2024. And today is December 30th of 2024. We still have today and tomorrow to play, but after that, it's over. No more Friday the 13th. It's just gone forever. It's gonna disappear into the black hole. It's no longer gonna be seen. All you'll have is your case on either console, Xbox, PC, PlayStation 4, or Nintendo Switch. I own a Nintendo Switch, so all we will have is the case with Part 7's face on it, with Ultimate Slasher Edition on the top, and then it will be gone forever. I want to be already owned it before Ultimate Slasher Edition came out. Like, it's still getting shut down, so yeah. So today I wanted to talk about Friday 13th, the game, for the last time, giving you on how they made the game. I'll probably update my ranking for the counselors, the Jason. I'm probably not gonna update my ranking for the top 13 kills and top 13 worst kills because that's just a bit too much. And this video might be age restricted because there will probably be some gruesome kills in it, but I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see because I don't have a script for my videos. Well, except for the Mario Kart 8 ranking. So yeah. And as you can tell from my voice, I'm a little sick today. I have a cough, but that didn't stop me from doing this video because I wanted to say one last goodbye to it, and I'll probably move on to Dead by Daylight Chainsaw Game. Oh, I made a mistake here. Talk about me being clumsy today. Let's try that again. Oh my god. I turned it up too loud that it just sounded like, oh my god. Okay, maybe I should not do this section. Oh, my ears. Okay, let's just jump right into the video, I guess. So, originally, Friday 13th, the game wasn't going to be a franchise game because Ironic was working on an original project called Volume 1 Summer Camp. It was going to be a respect to the Friday franchise, and yeah. But once they got Kane Hunter and Tom Savini in this, they decided to do a Friday 13th game. And even Sean Cunningham came in here, the original director of Friday the 13th, the first movie. So they did a Kickstarter for goal to have $750,000. If they reached that goal, they could do the game. And as you can see, it definitely came above that, having over $820,000. And what's even more interesting is that if they reach $5 million, 500,000, well, they would do a Jason X map, which, in my opinion, would have been cool, but unfortunately never made it into the game, and I will get to that later. So they started production on the game, and of course they started to design Jason and the maps, and of course it was really hard to get accurate, especially for some of the Jasons. Fun fact, Part 6 was actually the most difficult Jason design because there wasn't really a smooth shot of Jason's hockey match, especially since two actors played as him in the same movie. But thankfully, Part 6 was able to come in the game, and you can only walk him on level 3. Not too hard there, Part 6. Another cool fact is that Harry Manfredini designed the music for, I believe, the first 6 movies, if not the first 7. And, basically, he designed the Key Ma 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 to have constantly let Jason know if someone broke into his shack, or he did a nice job on killing people, or the counselors. They also designed Jason in a computer editor, and this is how they got his body and everything. But just deciding part 6 was hard doesn't mean that all the chasings weren't hard either. Each movie had a different actor, so they kind of had to replicate him perfectly. They always had to do a different head shape, different hockey mask, and more. Fun fact, this is also how they did the kills. So Kane Hodder was happy to come back and play as Jason, but only in a different form since he was doing kills for a video game and not a movie. They did all these kills and stunt performance using stuntman and woman. What an interesting concept, right? Oh yeah, and as you can see, they were in high-tech suits for these kills. Pretty cool, right? After all that was done, they did over 400 different animations on captures. Yes, over 400. They also want to use the classic kills in Friday 13 the game to make the fans happy, obviously. I mean, why would you play Jason without the iconic Sweeper Mag kill? Just why? So then, the big day came. They did a trailer for just to show how brutal the kills will be in this game. Because, of course, they were very proud of the kills they were doing. Of course, a lot of people paid attention because it's Friday the 13th. Oh, there's Tom Savini. Wait, what? He has a Starbucks card? I mean, cup? Wait. I didn't know he drinks Starbucks. He has Starbucks coffee on a Twitch stage. That is actually very hilarious. I love it. So when the game was about to be released, they were gonna decide between an M rating and an A rating, but overall they choose an M rating. Yeah, I prefer that so much better because you know what. The game was released on May 26, 2017 on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and would release on Nintendo Switch in 2019. Alright, that's enough of the early development. Now let's talk about how to play this game. But if you want to learn even more facts, go check out 107 Friday the 13th facts you should know. Yay! Yeah, because it's a really good video and I would recommend you check it out. So, massive credits for him for letting me use the footage. So, how to play Friday 13th the game is, well, there's a few ways you can play it. So, the game will, unlike Dead by Daylight or Chainsaw, the game, you can, the game just picks for you. Like, you're either a Jason or a counselor, and you can't pick between being a killer or victim. In the other games, you're just randomly picked. Now, yes, you can pick the preferred Jason, none, or counselors, but, well, actually, recently, it didn't really matter, but I played the game, recently, this month, and I kept getting Jason over and over again. I would get him, 4 times in a row, because I picked him to prefer, because I thought it wasn't a big deal, but now I guess it is. So, when I picked preferred counselors, I kept getting counselors over and over again, so I guess I could pick none, but I'm not sure which one I prefer, so I guess I should pick none, lol. Anyways, let's talk about the gameplay. So I'm going to compare both the old version and the new version, because there's actually some differences. First of all, when the game first came out, the opening scene looked like this. And, well, they all ran and Jason would come. But I know it's somewhere and all, but it does have shots of different angles, so I will include it to be different. And this is what the new version looks like. As you can see, it's pretty similar, but it's shot differently. And the graphics kind of downgrade a little. It doesn't look as realistic, bright. It's just dark. And as you can see, they shot Jason differently. The other difference is when he plays down things like a trap. As you can see, the animation is a bit different, but slightly if you look closely. Another interesting thing to point out is the grab animation was different. See, he just grabs them very quickly and moves around kind of differently too. But the kills were the same. So, yeah, these were some of the differences. There weren't too much differences. Just a little better graphics and different animations. Another big difference is, if you look at the counselor select screen and the Jason screen, the screen looks slightly different because the counselors are kind of more laid back a little, and they had a smoother background compared to the new screen of the counselors. Where you're looking more straight. Another fun fact is that when the game came out, it didn't come with all of the Jasons. Part 4 and 5 were weirdly missing. Another thing that came with that was quickly removed is that counselors can actually kill each other. Of course, that was quickly removed though, because I guess it just breaks the rules of Jason. But hey, you can still but you can still kill your teammates by running them over with a car. Just so amazing. And even if the game got a bunch of positive reviews, it did have a rough start due to traffic issues, and it crashed the servers. So Horning and Gummy apologized by giving us a retro skin, Jason, and 2 outfits for each counselor. How fun! Also, Rage Mode sold 2 million copies, which is crazy. And Rage Mode would be added later on in 2019. So overall, the game's got a 61 medic score, and it got a 6.1 for user score. That's pretty average. Alright, enough talking. Let's rank every single Jason first, since there isn't as much there's not as much Jasons as there are as counselors, so let's rank them. Trust me, my opinion has changed a bit. No questions asked, the worst Jason in the game is Part 7, and unfortunately he's the coolest looking Jason, but he kinda sucks. So Part 7 is probably the most difficult Jason to play, in my opinion. He is very slow, so you have a hard time catching counselors. He has very low traps. He actually has free, which is actually not a big deal. If you play smartly, then you will most likely not mess up. Like if you put one at the phone box and the power, maybe even one at the car, then you'll be all good. And what I mean by the power box is, for Tommy Jarvis, you don't want Tommy Jarvis to get caught on, especially since Part 7 is already slow and clumsy already. Now, I like how he has plus water speed. I think that's cool. Weapon Shrink is also useful because I like to swatch and then grab my counselors, because that's how I usually play. And yeah, he's just not good because he has a very bad stun resistance, so he will be stunned for a long time, which also isn't a big deal, but it can be rough if in early game, if you're not enraged, and counselors will beat you up, and your weapons will most likely not break as usually with this Jason. So yeah, and I also forgot his other shrink when we look back. Oh yeah, Sense doesn't change anything. Let's move on. At number 7 is a pretty sad one, and it's Part 4. Now, I like playing as Part 4 a lot. He is probably the funnest Jason to play as, in my opinion, because he has incredible destruction. So, as you've seen here, he can break down doors very easily. He is crazy fast. He is, literally as fast as a jogging counselor, so that's a bit insane. And he also has a really good weapon shrink. And as you can see, I really like using weapon shrink because it does help the counselors from getting injured. So if they have a pocket knife, I can constantly chase them, use my weapon, and then grab them, and then get the kill. So yeah, but what pulls this Jason down? Well, he has really good shrinks, and he's a beast, don't get me wrong, but he has some of the worst weaknesses in the game. He has a terrible water speed, so he won't be catching the bow. He has a terrible shift, too, so he won't also be catching the car. And he only has 3 traps. I mean, if you play smartly, then it will be fine. But having 2 other bad weaknesses does kind of ruin him. And most of the time when I play as Part 4, at least one counselor will always escape, or I will get killed, or something like that. It can be difficult to play as him. You have to play as him right. You constantly have to chase the counselors. You have to use those shrinks to your advantage, and yeah, he can be difficult to play as, but I still play as him a lot because he's really the funniest to play as, in my opinion. At number 6, it's gonna be Part 3. Maybe it's just because I'm really bad with him, because every time I play as him, at least one counselor will escape from either the car, the bow, just track out the time, or I'll get killed. But I don't know. He's just not a good Jason, in my opinion. He's an alright Jason. He is very balanced. He has good weapon strength, and he is pretty fast, which the run-in Jasons are usually better at catching counselors because they run. They don't speed walk like the zombie chases from part 6 through 9. So yeah, but the problem with part 3 is that he has like no good strength. He has a good way. Sure, being able to run and grip strength is really good, but they're not the craziest thing in the world. And having grip strength is just useless. You have more time to do kills and all, but let's be honest. Yeah, unless if you're a noob at this game, you always get a killing quickly. So yeah. And for his weaknesses, they're not bad, but having a stun resistance weakness is very annoying because you will get stunned easier. Having decreased sense is also not bad because it doesn't matter. And finally, he has a weakness with stock. So I actually never used stock until recently. It's kind of cool though because basically with stock it will mute your music, which means you can basically sneak up on counselors and kill them. So basically what this weakness means is that it doesn't last as long as ever chasing, which is a bummer because I do like using stock. And well, yeah, this is why this chasing is just as mid as a Burger King chicken sandwich. So moving on. Oh yeah, retro chasing is the same thing as part 3. Yeah, so he's not on this list. Now, unfortunately, the next chasing at number 5 used to be my main chasing. I used to play as him every time, and it's part 6. Now, don't get me wrong, this chasing is really strong. He has some of the best strengths in the game. Like, he can shift really quickly. He has a lot of throwing knives, and I like using those. But having having a strength of sense just is kind of useless. And his weaknesses aren't too bad until you get to 1. So he has minus defense. It's not a big deal, but it can be easy to kill this chasing at times. His other weakness is he can't run, obviously. He is a very slow chasing. And finally, his negative morph ruins him for me. Because his morph is so slow. Like, if you're playing on maps like Pinehurst, you will struggle to find a counselor if you're in an area where there's like no counselors. And if they're doing like a phone in the car and going to your shack, you kind of have to choose which one is the most important. And this is what kind of brains is chasing down for me. If he just had like if he didn't have morph as a weakness and probably had like something like negative. Oh, sorry, an ad came on. But if he had something like, let's say, negative, like, which would be something good, like negative grip strength, then this chasing would be number 1, especially since he's like the second coolest looking chasing in this game. But outside of that, yeah, I used to play as him, but now my mains are usually part 5, part 8, and part 2, and even part 4. Coming at number 4 is part 2. Part 2 is a really good chasing because well, he has a lot of strengths, like really good strengths that can help you become a good player at this game because he's great for beginning players, just as much as probably would actually argue he's even better than part 3 for beginning players because of his really good strengths. Unlike part 3 that doesn't really have any good strengths outside of weapon strength. So he has extra traps, around 7, which is really good if you want to hold your traps. Like if they stepped on a trap, then you can come back and you know, place another one. Speaking of coming back, his morph is really quick. It's the opposite of part 6. It can make him morph around the map very quickly, which is a really good thing because you want to catch counselors, and yeah. And obviously he can also run, which is pretty good, but it's not the craziest thing in the world. But what Shrax is chasing down from the top 3 are his weaknesses. So having minus shift is really bad because you will have a hard time catching counselors. You might as well just run, like that's not even gonna fix anything. And he also is not fast in the water. He has a weakness with them, which I think water speed is useful, not just because for the boat, but also because if you're on a large map like Pinehurst or Chargers Out, it can be really good to go around the map using water, and it's easier to find counselors. But this chasing will take forever to travel, so don't even bother using this water speed. And finally, His last weakness is, well, he is very easy to kill. So he is probably the easiest chasing to kill in this game. And he's also the easiest chasing to stun. So a lot of people try to kill part 2, which could, so yeah, just be careful. You want to be careful playing as him because counselors will try to kill you, so just be careful with that. But if he had like better weaknesses, then I feel like he would have been like top, like even number 2. Number 3 was part 9, aka I like to call him if part 6 didn't have the negative morph. Because he has pretty similar strengths. So we start off with them. He has really good shifts, so that means you can travel around the map all over the place. And he's great for doing grip grabs, like the shift grab, which is basically where you shift and you grab a counselor. His other great weakness is stun resistance, which means you'll be stunned for less longer, which is a really good weakness to have strength to have because you can always keep pressure on the counselors. They will barely have time to run, and you'll recover right away, so that's great. And his other big strength is stock, which is really nice because I like using stock for just waiting there forever, waiting for a counselor to jump out of the window and grab them. Yeah, that will help a lot. Now going on to weaknesses, he has less hit points, which basically means the same thing as defense. He's an easier chasing to kill and easier to get his max off, which could be tough if counters are going after your check. You kind of want to play smartly. His other big weakness is his traps. So that's actually why my old Fiverr team chasing Rankville, I didn't like this chasing because of his traps. And now I realize if you play smartly with them, it's not really a big deal. And of course, he can't run, which means you will have a bit of a hard time catching counters, but it's honestly not a big deal. Now, overall, I think this is a great chasing. I just think the 2 other chasings are slightly better. Now coming at number 2 is Roy, from part 5. So, I was actually considering ranking this chasing number 1, well, aka copycat chasing or Roy, but I feel like another chasing has slightly better stats. So let's look at Roy's stats. So he has really, really good throwing knives. He will come with, I believe, like 4 or 5 of them, maybe even 6. So it's a great weakness to have, especially since you're trying to enter counselors and grab them. It's a great strength to have. His other great strength to have is stock. So his stock basically lasts longer than other chasings, which is great if you're sneaking up on counselors. So that's a great thing to have. Oh yeah, and of course he can run, obviously. Now let's look at his weaknesses. Oh yeah, I told you the grab animation was different back then. But basically, his weaknesses are he has terrible grip strength, which is no problem at all. His other weakness is his defense. Basically means the same thing as less hit points. This is probably the easiest chasing and kill next to part 2. So you want to be careful fighting counselors, but it's isn't the biggest thing in the world. But his last weakness is the reason why I didn't place him number 1. His last weakness is his stun resistance, which, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it does suck because you will be stunned for quite a while. You will be stunned for like 10 seconds, so yeah, it's not a problem when you have rage, but in early game, it's difficult to deal with. But overall, I think Roy is a great chasing, and he's one of the chasings I play most of the time, at least now these days. And coming number 1, the chasing I play as the most is part 8. So part 8 is really good because he has no weaknesses at all, and he has very strong strengths. So his first strength is his destruction. So basically, he'll break down doors quicker, which is a great thing to have. He also has really good stock, which means you can sneak up on counselors more. And finally, he has really good water speed. So if you're at a large map like Pinehurst, Harvest House, or you got a boat, and it can be useful to travel around the map or catch the boat because he is faster. Same with part 7, faster than grease up dolphins in the water. So it's a great strength to have. Now, for his weaknesses, they're not even weaknesses. Like, his grip strength. Grip strength, it doesn't affect the game at all. He also can't run, which is no big deal. And finally, he has negative morph, but that's no big deal at all. Wait, no, I mean sense. I meant sense, not morph. If he had morphin, he would be down the list quite a bit, but he doesn't have that. He has negative sense, which is no big deal. So he has great strength, barely any weaknesses, and he's the Chasen I play as most of the time until the game gets shut down. Oh yeah, thanks. Give credit to to play with Chasen for allowing me for having me use this footage. This is where I got the footage from. So thanks a lot, play with Chasen, and yeah, this is the last time I'll get to talk about this game. So yeah. So I was actually gonna rank the counselors, but looking back on my older video, I agree with all my opinions. So yeah, if you want to see the ranking of counselors, go check out the old video. I know it's a bit outdated with my voice and everything, but I do agree with all of it, so I'm not gonna rank them. Now, why is this game getting shut down? I'm gonna be talking about this for the last few minutes. So it's essentially because Horror Inc., I believe, copyrighted the game and it stopped allowing for it to get updates. So it was gonna have like Chasen X and Uber Chasen, but all that stuff was scrapped because of the copyright. And then they were gonna do another game named Friday the 13th Resurrection, the game, obviously. So it's Friday the 13th, the game, but you had all the skins. Like Part 8 Max is torn up. You have Chasen from Part 10, and you also have Uber Chasen. You got Freddy vs. Chasen. You have the Reboot Chasen. You even have Ghost Chasen from Never Hike Alone. So that's really cool. But the game was shut down due to copyright infringement. So now all we have left is a new game named Chasen's Universe. It's gonna be like a platform game, I believe. I'm not really sure. So yeah, I mean, I hope Chasen's Universe is as good as Friday the 13th. And in the meantime, I'll probably continue to play more of Dead by Daylight and the Chainsaw game, because I've been playing Friday the 13th a lot lately. It's very sad that this game is getting shut down, and well, rest in peace, Friday the 13th, the game. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I'm gonna try to get my New Year's video out tomorrow if I can, because I'm pretty sick right now. I am pretty hot, so I'm gonna probably go downstairs and just relax for the rest of the night. You're sick? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, no! I mean, I'll get better. Anyways, thanks for watching, and rest in peace, the Friday the 13th, the game. Goodbye. See you later.